All right, so we are here with Global Director Tim Cox and Global Director Craig Blanchette, and we're actually going through a little bit of a training on how to create Google Forms. And so you first need a Gmail account, and then install the Drive. With every Gmail account, you have something called Drive, and it's the way to have documents that live on the internet. Essentially, Microsoft Word. So you have a word processor, you have a spreadsheet, you've got an Excel spreadsheet, you've got a presentation software, essentially got Office for free online. And so when you want to create a document that's a form, for example, because you want to send it out as a questionnaire to gather information, you go up here, go into your Google Drive, click on Create, go down to where it says Form, and then it gives you this basic view of a form. And so I'm just going to type in, test awesome form. That's what I'm going to call it. And then the first question is going to be their name. That might be something good. And then I want it to be text. Make it a required question so we know who they are. Then I'm going to add another item, and this is going to be maybe email address, and I want to make that a required question. And then I want to, let's add something like, are you awesome? Are you awesome? And then on this one, I'm going to give them a choice between yes or no. And so option one might be yes, and the second one might be no. And I'm going to click that. And so then they can choose if they're awesome, yes or no. I might even choose from a list, multiple choice. You can choose these different things. So choose from a list, and then they can choose yes or no. And then I'm going to add one more item here, which is you can have like open comment. And then this one's going to be a paragraph text, so I can give them a lot more space to type in. Now I'm going to go up here and say, view live form. And there's my form that I just created with those basic questions and a URL to send to people. And when I enter information, Craig, email address, are you awesome? I'm going to say yes. And I'm going to put Tim is also, and submit. And now that's submitted information into a form, but you say, where did it go? Well, it actually tracks all the information that the form generates and puts it into an Excel spreadsheet so that you can then quantify and sort and whatever the kind of data. And so now if I go up here and I go to, I have to view, choose response destination. I can choose where I want it to go. A new spreadsheet. Sure, this is going to be called test. Awesome. AWESOME, right? Create. And so now I can actually go into my Google Drive now, and I can look at the responses, and it's going to show me a spreadsheet of the responses and how people actually entered their data. So that's just a quick little way of how to create a form. Now I'm going to show you some ways that I've used it. I created this thing called a health coach application. So when someone says that they're interested in becoming a health coach, I thought, wouldn't it be great to see how serious they are if I gave them a little questionnaire and they could fill out some stuff and quantify what their level of interest is. And so this one is called, this is where the data goes. And if we click on form, go to live form, this is what it looks like. It's called a health coach application. Health coaching is flexible and can be done on your own time. Every coach has a mentor that will guide them through the training at their own pace. And so I could put on a little more information about that, but their name, email, your health coach name. What excites you about becoming a health coach? What best describes your current situation? I'm genuinely interested in helping others. Scale of 1 to 4. I'm always trying to learn, improve, and believe that I'm very coachable and teachable. I have a desire to share my experience in getting healthier with others. And then they submit it. So it kind of shows me, like, are they a good candidate or not? So this is a nice little way to gather information. Most recently, I created one that was called a digital evaluation. And this was something I sent out to all my coaches, asking them for some information so I can see basically how to train them and what kinds of things where they needed to help at. And so we used this from the Robert Fritz training that we did at Sundance last year. And it's a really simple way to assess someone and where they're at. And so this was, their first and last name, email, and then if you had no limits, what would you want to accomplish in the next 90 days with your coaching practice and why? I believe that probably verbiage sounds really familiar, Tim, because when you gave me some feedback, you told me that would be a great question to add, and I popped it in there. And then we go down to client acquisition. Are you adequate or inadequate? And are you getting better, staying the same, or getting worse? And then we did a bunch of different categories here, and then open comment at the bottom. And so now my coaches are responding to me. And what's really neat, let me show you some of the responses that I've got. View responses, and then this is the part that I love the most, is I can go up here and I can go to tools, under form, show summary of responses. Wait till you see this. Look at that cool data. So I can show how many are good, getting better, staying the same. So client support is staying the same. 60% are staying the same. 40% are getting better. Nobody said they're getting worse. So what I see right now is not very many people think that they're getting worse. So either that could be accurate, that might not be accurate. Coach acquisition is getting worse. So I can get kind of an idea of where people are at with different things. Staying the same, getting better. Are they adequate, inadequate? And so I got all this data that I can go glean from, and then I can figure out where do I need to train my next trainings. If everybody's coach acquisition says it's inadequate and getting worse, well, then I'll probably need to do a training on that.